You're listening to the Cloud 5 podcast. Today on the show, this week's headliners give us plane invaders, petrol prizes, and the most expensive item on Earth. We sort through fact and fiction in our Florida Man segment, where Brandon brings us tales of family feuds and fornication failures. And we delve into all kinds of extraordinary esoterica, be it cockerels in court, the monkey hangers of Hartlepool, and the many applications of the crossbow, from ziplining to grenade slinging. You can catch us here every Sunday at 7 p.m. We hope you enjoy the show.
Pop a stiffy and start ejaculating.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Cloud 5, the podcast where 5 British idiots delve into the latest and strangest in news and pop culture. Before we dive in, some introductions to the cast of irreverent imbeciles who'll be guiding you through this week in weird news. First up, I am Jack. We've got Brandon.
Hola.
We've got George.
Hello.
We've got Joe.
Hello.
And we've got Luke.
Hello.
Welcome back, guys, to episode 8 of Cloud 5. I'm considering just cutting out the pop culture thing, because we don't talk about pop culture. We don't talk about movies.
What is pop culture?
It's like movies and TV and games and stuff.
Oh yeah, we don't talk about that.
We talk about it so much.
Ever.
That's all we ever talk about.
We talk about more enlightened topics,
Like,
Yeah.
like vaginal steaming.
And like a naked dude on Florida.
Yeah, getting shot for being naked.
Oh, I was thinking about the guy who was on the road, not the other guy with the Bible.
Yeah, the other naked guy in Florida.
Yeah, the other Floridan.
There are many naked Florida men.
It's too many,
There's too many
in my
of them.
opinion.
They're getting out of control.
I've also noticed, guys, that episode 7, our last episode, is the only episode of Cloud 5 so far that does not have a type of animal in the title.
Oh,
That's
wow.
good. We're expanding.
That's
We're
terrible.
verifying.
Well, that might not be strictly true, although
Diversifying
because
our content.
unless you count vampires as animals,
Yeah,
'Cause
they're,
we've
got-
they're animals.
they
Are
they
they?
count. We've got
Yeah.
badgers and
Fictional
space
characters.
jellies, tardigrade invasion, dead goat polo, fish in the car, and army of ferrets.
Fish in the car is my favourite.
First up, it's Headliners, the weekly segment where you lot fill in the gaps of the zaniest headlines I could find in the depths of the internet. We're starting off with an easy one. Blank attacks pilot, forcing plane to make emergency landing.
Passenger.
Cockroach.
Terrorist.
No, it's
Seagull.
not. No, it's neither of those. It's none of those things.
Is it enraged Karen due to the lack of vegan options?
No, although that's a very detailed scenario.
Is it
Well,
the sky?
Just thinking, bro.
The sky's fighting back. They're tired of airplanes encroaching on its territory. It's
Is
like
it bolts of lightning?
Joe, it would be fantastic if, like, a plane got caught in a tornado and the headline was "Sky attacks plane."
yeah.
Is it
Gonna cry.
Jesus?
It's because you've got to handle my facts.
Yeah, you're dripping with facts, mate.
Real
Is it
ones.
Buzz
No,
Lightyear?
you're all fake.
No, those are some fruity guesses, but no. The answer is cat.
Cat on it? What?
Did the cat die at least?
Wait,
The
Yeah,
subtitle.
At least.
Oh
Did
my
the
God.
cat die at least?
Yeah, please
Did it
allow me to take solace
I
in the
hate
fact that the
cats.
cat was brutally killed. The subtitle really makes it. It is not totally clear how the cat managed to infiltrate the flight.
Infiltrate.
It wasn't
Imagine
any
if
of
it
them.
was
They just
like-
opened the door and flew out of the window.
it's like Puss in Boots. He comes out with a sword and just like decapitates the pilot.
Well, it was a flight bound for Qatar, forced to return to Sudan's capital city after the cat made a surprise appearance in the cockpit and began to attack the pilot and crew.
Was it like a lion?
No, it was a regular-sized domestic cat.
So you can't just any of them. Even the small ones can do stuff like this. We should exterminate all of them to keep us safe.
All cats.
All cats.
Sounds
All
Especially
cats.
the ones in my house.
Just in case one cat gets on a plane and hurts a pilot, all must
Yeah.
die.
No, we got cats and I hate them. They're devious. They would do that
I
if they had
like
the chance,
cats.
believe me.
I
So
don't like
we've got to
cats.
take preemptive action.
I believe you.
Cats.
Yeah, better do.
Well, it happened half an hour into the takeoff. The cat attacked the pilot and resisted all efforts to be captured. It is
Classic.
suspected that the cat snuck into the plane while it was stationed at the airport overnight for cleaning. Upon waking up in an unfamiliar setting, the cat got aggressive and began to attack the pilot.
So I don't understand, right? So that
What-
they were like,
what is it that you don't understand, my friend?
so
Allow
they-
me to make
where,
clear.
Where did they emergency land? Like, at what point in the flight did the cat attack?
Yeah,
Like, were
half
they
an
near
hour.
Qatar?
And it was flying.
Half an hour in. So they left Sudan.
Yeah,
And then on their way to Qatar, and then half an hour in, they were like, "Oh, there's a cat in the cockpit murdering everybody. We've got to turn back." And they went all the way back to the airport.
they made a whole U-turn. Wow.
Yeah, they went back.
So they couldn't have just like shoved it in the toilet or something and shut the door.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
I don't
you
think
need
the
to wait.
pilot can't really. It's not very easy to step away from the cockpit, is it? When you
Couldn't you just
flying a
throw him
plane?
out the window or like
You
airpit
just-
or cockpit, whatever it's called?
Yeah, Joe. Yeah, I don't know why they didn't think of that. They should have just opened in a window on
Yeah.
the plane.
Yeah, I'd do it.
Yeah,
On a
open the
plane
door.
in
Yeah.
flight.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
right.
I just keep driving or flying, whatever it's called.
Keep driving. Yeah, keep
Yeah.
driving until they park.
Yeah, and then the cat like started attacking, so they just put it in reverse. and went
They
back.
did,
Yeah.
yeah, just put it in
Oh,
reverse.
yeah.
Put the
No,
plane
because
in
you could go on the
reverse.
clouds. You could go on the clouds and drive on the
Beep.
clouds.
Put its indicators on.
Drive on the clouds because the plane can fly because it's light, yeah? So it'd be
Yeah.
light on the clouds, so it can drive on the cloud.
Yeah, planes are famously light.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are.
We've got to
Lighter
fly
than
otherwise, haven't we?
clouds.
They're lighter than air. That's how they fly. You're
Yeah.
stupid.
You
Yeah,
stupid.
sorry, you're right. Right,
Yeah.
next headliner. Woman finds blank worth thousands of dollars while walking on beach.
Rock.
Grain of sand.
Right, okay.
Another
so
woman.
it isn't rock.
I was going to say that as well, Brett.
Grain of sand is an interesting. Why did you say that?
Oh, because it's a beach. There are many grains of sand.
Yeah, but
Why did you say that on a beach?
not
hate
many
sand.
worth thousands of dollars.
It depends.
You never know.
To
They
put it in
might.
perspective, the value of this item that she located was £177,840. The equivalent.
Is it a fossil?
No, although that is a very good guess. No,
It's a
suppose-
diamond.
Is it the fossil of a penis?
It has
Okay.
to be a
Whale's
diamond.
penis.
Is it a moon rock?
Another good guess, but you may be surprised by the answer. Woman finds whale vomit worth thousands of dollars while walking on beach.
Oh, that is bad luck.
What a
Very
sticky
bad.
situation, am I right?
It is, well,
Oh. Oh.
whale vomit isn't
Whoa.
actually
Whoa.
liquidy when it pops up on the beach. It tends to be like a weird waxy texture. It's called ambergris, which is super valuable. It's more expensive than like gold. On February 23rd, a woman whose name is the best name. Her first name is literally Siri Porn.
Nice.
SIRIPORN. Siri Porn.
I recognise that name.
Took home a
Do you really?
On February 23rd, Siri Porn Niamrin, 49, took home a misshapen lump she found on a Thai beach. She noticed it smelled a bit like fish and thought it might be worth something. That is not the thought process that would have gone through my head.
No.
No. It'd be like, oh, what is that? I'm going to leave now.
I'd have licked it and see what happens to my body.
Once she was home, she asked neighbours for help identifying the object. As it turns out, it was ambergris, the fancy word for whale vomit. It was 12 inches wide and 24 inches long, with an estimated value of £177,000. In rupees, that's like something absurd, like 10 million.
Why is it so expensive, though?
I don't
It's
really
great.
know.
It's caviar, basically, but
Where
vomit.
is that in demand? Is what I want to know.
It's used by some perfume companies. It helps the perfume stick to our skin, making it last
So it really is a
longer.
sticky
So
situation.
perfume companies will pay thousands of dollars just for a small amount.
What, is that
Oh.
just in general? Is that like in all perfume?
I'm going to read my aftershave now.
I don't think it will say in big letters on the back of it, whale sick.
Whale sick, yeah.
There's another thing in the ocean that is one of the most expensive commodities in the world. Does anyone know? What's a really,
Caviar?
really super
Is it
expensive type of fish?
shark fin.
Fish.
No.
No. It's
No,
that
no.
crab that has a blood that is used for vaccines or something, or like.
Oh, well, I don't know about that, but I do know that bluefin tuna, a Japanese sushi tycoon, paid a record $3.1 million for a £612 bluefin tuna in 2019.
Yeah, I read about
For a
that.
redfin myself.
Bluefin tuna is like the top quality fish for like sashimi.
I
grade
throw it in the
stuff.
bin whenever I see it.
Yeah, it's that was spite. I'm like, yeah, I eat
I
it.
discard
Psych,
it.
You got baited.
Alright. Aubergine.
Oh.
Aubergine is not the most.
I love how Brandon was like, all right, like as in protest. He was like, fine then, aubergine.
Yeah, take that.
There was no hesitation. It was
No.
like Do you have like a list of words next to you, Brandon, that you try to get in every single?
No.
recording?
Basically, I'm looking up like expensive things from the ocean, and somehow I stumbled across an article with the headline: "Is aubergine eggplant?" Question mark. Question mark. Question mark.
Well, Beluga Caviar. Beluga is a specific type of caviar that's the most expensive in the world. It comes from the rare beluga sturgeon, which is found in the Caspian Sea. In addition to its long reproductive cycle, the beluga sturgeon is currently the victim of overfishing due to its precious cargo of eggs, something which further drives up the price. It's about $35 per gram.
Oh.
This is going to be because I like my food. I like cooking. I was watching a video on this. I think it was Gordon Ramsay, and basically they're now farming like sturgeon, like livestock now for caviar. There's like a Spanish like river with a section of it cut off with like a farm just for sturgeon, so they can farm caviar, and it's like one of the most
Sturgeon
expensive
ranch.
farms in the. Yeah, it's so expensive though because like
Ranch.
a tin will go for like quite a few grand, and they have like loads of like security and guard dogs and stuff just to protect each fish.
It amazes me like how much stuff is like surprisingly expensive. Like those truffles that are like, isn't it like a white truffle that's like one of the most expensive food items in the world?
Black winter truffle.
Yeah, and they go for ridiculous amounts of money. It's like, do we really like truffles that much? Or have we just kind of created this weird cult of... It's like wine. We've created this weird cult of like, oh, it's this really super expensive. But expensive does not equal quality. I remember my grandparents told me a story about how they went to France and they went on this like wine tour. And I think the further up the hill they went, the more expensive the wines got. And they actually liked the wine at the bottom more.
I think because they didn't have to walk as far.
Yeah, by the end they just wanted water. Like,
Yeah, or
please,
maybe by the end they were
stop videos
so drunk that they couldn't taste anymore.
I think when it comes to it, a lot of it is like the quantity. Like if something is very rare, the price will go up like naturally. But then again, it can also be quality. But then some things are cheaper yet better than their expensive counterpart, and that confuses me.
Yeah, like Freddo's.
Yeah, because if you're paying like loads of money for a high brand, where someone can get better satisfaction for like paying for a cheaper alternative, it's confusing.
Do you guys happen to know what the most expensive substance in the world is?
Oh, it's
Cock.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a type of.
Pretty sure it's penis.
It's like a type of chemical or something they use for.
Yeah.
Use in, like, or an element they use in like nuclear science or something.
Yeah, sorry,
Is it like
Brandon.
uranium something?
I love it.
Really
Joe and
cock.
George are literally behaving like children today. She's just saying the word cock at each other
It's
and laughing
funny.
over
It's
Brandon.
funny.
He's trying to share a fact.
It's what the listeners are here for.
It's what they're here for. They're here for some childish playground humour.
I'm a man
They're
of
here
a
for cock.
We're giving the people what they want.
The
Yes,
most
exactly.
expensive thing in the world is Joe's juicy bum.
Don't say it.
Oh my god!
Joe's juicy rump.
Juicy hind steak.
Hind.
The most expensive material. Luke, do you know what it is?
I have absolutely no idea.
Well, the answer is antimatter.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Oh yeah.
That
It's
makes
considered
so
to be
much
the
sense.
most expensive substance on Earth because it requires an incredible amount of energy to generate. According to CERN, it requires several £100 million just to create 1/1000th of a gram of antimatter. It also happens to be
Gram's like
extremely
a trillion.
dangerous, as it annihilates any matter that it may come into contact with in a huge explosion. Antimatter per gram, Brendan, like you say, isn't just a trillion. It's 62.5 trillion per gram.
Yeah. I wonder what antimatter looks like. I'm gonna Google it.
It doesn't look anything because it doesn't exist. Because it's literally antimatter in it. It doesn't exist.
No, Joe, it does exist.
No,
It
it
does
doesn't.
exist.
Prove
This
it.
isn't fiction.
I haven't seen it.
Prove it.
Antimatter real.
God,
Oh, it just looks like light. Which
Yeah,
makes sense actually.
Because it's fake. Like light is. Close your eyes. It's not even there.
Okay. You're an idiot. We're moving on.
Joe, you baffle me sometimes.
Third headliner. Man of the match at local cricket match receives blank as prize in India.
Oh. Is it chicken?
It isn't chicken, no.
Damn it.
Why did you think it was chicken?
I thought I saw something and somebody got like a chicken or like a... I saw one, it was like a Burger King crown, but maybe that was football.
No,
Burger
it
King.
isn't that. Although I would love that if he was man of the match at his cricket game and he was like, yeah, brilliant, what do I get? Trophy? And they just put a cardboard crown on him and then told him to piss off.
I know what you get. Like, man of the match at a cricket game gets shot.
No.
What? Why?
I would just encourage everyone to just play terribly.
You better calm down, Rashid. You're going to get shot if you carry on.
Ahim, you did not kick that guy in the face. Time to die. The answer: man of the match at local cricket match receives 5 litres of petrol as prize in India.
With the current state of the oil prices and petrol prices, I'd be pretty happy with that.
That's exactly what it is about.
Yeah.
In order to highlight the problem with a rise in fuel prices, 5 litres of petrol were awarded to a cricketer judged man of the match in the final bout of a local cricket tournament. It was I bet he was really excited about it.
In India, petrol is about 86.34 rupees per litre. So that's fairly expensive, you know. Any Indian people who are listening.
We don't have any listeners from India.
Not yet.
Unless they're in the UK, Canada, Australia, America, or Germany.
Wait, do we have a Canadian listener?
Yeah, a very small percentage of our viewership is in Canada. Yeah. Hello, Canada.
Hello, Canada.
I think our US listeners are not in Florida, which is nice. I think they're in like Tennessee or something. So hi, America, and if you live in Florida, your state's hilarious.
Yeah. If you do something crazy, you could feature.
Yeah.
If you're
so
listening
do it.
from Germany, ich esse lange Wurst. Es war sehr gut.
Did you just... God.
I don't like the moan.
I heard the
don't like the moan at the end.
I heard Wurst, which makes me worried.
I said I ate long sausage. It was very good.
I've just... Brilliant. That's lovely of you. Thank you, Brandon. If you have any headliners for us, tweet us at Cloud5Cast using the hashtag Cloud5 or email us at cloud5cast@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. That goes for all segments of this show. If you have headliners, if you have news stories, Florida Men, Science Corner, or just general feedback or hate mail, send it to that email. Cloud5cast@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you.
You haven't got any hate mail
We
yet.
have had a lot of hate mail recently.
I was going to say, Joe, what are you talking about? We've received tons of hate mail from the same person, but we'll get onto that in a minute.
I need to see this actually.
If essentially there is a guy
Special
who
viewer.
our viewers may not be aware of unless you know him personally. We have a friend called Alban in real life, and he is a friend from college, a good friend of ours, and he hates this podcast.
He
Hates
despises it.
He
Lord of his
literally
existence.
hates it. We got 10 emails from him the other day,
On Wednesday.
and I'm just going to read them out before we move on to This Week in Weird. I'm just going to read these out. It's me pistachios. It's me, and I hate you. I hate you with all of my liver. I hate you even more than I hate dogs. And I hate dogs.
Yeah, he does.
Those were 2 separate emails. I hope that one day, full stop, one of you buys a coffee, full stop, with sugar, full stop. But when it arrives, full stop, it has no sugar.
Oh, God.
Oh, God.
I hope you go to a country where you don't understand people and they don't understand you, and you spend the rest of your days trying to order orange juice and a margarita, full stop, without success, full stop.
He does.
May all your days be Wednesdays. May all your sugar be salt. May all your haircuts be bad.
So
That's
thank
the
you,
end.
Such a poet.
What a saga.
He's passionate. He's passionate about his hate.
He'd obviously listened to last week's podcast and been moved by, because we put a little, as like a cold open, we put a voice message we got from him at the start of that episode, which was, I hate you all. Hate. Hate. And then and for those people who, because we only explained it at the end of the episode, so I bet people who tuned in were like, what the hell is going on? Who is this? What is this? It's like when you got walkie-talkies and suddenly you hear some voice that isn't one of you coming through, and you're like, whoa, what is happening? Who is this?
Oh, I had that once. I had some Indian dude.
An Indian man.
No, it was some
Just gonna
language.
leave it
It
at
sounded
that,
like
Brandon.
Indian. I was about 6 at the time, and I was just sat there with my walkie-talkie trying to contact my sister, and I just started hearing this random voice, and I'm just sat there like, hello.
Well,
are you?
funny you should mention India, actually, because that makes a good segue into This Week in Weird, when someone was killed at a cockfight in India recently. That is... No.
That sounds like my kind of fight.
I knew this would happen.
Here goes the next 5.
You know what cockfighting is? It's when they strap knives to chickens and make them fight.
They strap knives to... Oh, no, I don't
To
like
be fair,
it.
actually, I didn't know
That should be illegal.
Did you not know that was the thing, Luke?
No, I didn't.
Oh, yeah, no,
I was actually intrigued as to what this was. I was like, is this...
It's actually widespread. They do. It's illegal in most places, but they do.
Good.
They do like kind of illegal cockfights with obviously the cock referring to rooster.
Just please say chicken fighting. I won't be able to keep. I won't be able to handle this if you keep saying cock.
Well, the official term for it is cockfight, so I will persevere. Someone was actually killed at a cockfight in India recently. Take a guess at who is appearing in court for it.
The chicken.
Mahatma Gandhi.
It is the chicken. The rooster. Is
Wait,
appearing in court.
They're suing the rooster.
A 45-year-old man was killed during an illegal cockfight when a rooster slashed his groin with a knife while trying to escape his clutches. Local police officer B. Jeevan said that the rooster will be produced in court as evidence.
Oh, so they're not... Oh, I thought they were going to get the rooster up and to give a testimony.
Well,
witnesses.
Interestingly, this leads me on to my next point, because this I love this story, by the way, because it shows a guy getting involved in cockfights, getting his comeuppance for cruelty to animals, but also because it allows me to springboard into the topic of animal trials, which are nothing new. The many historical examples of animals actually being put on trial. Such trials have remained part of several legal systems until the 18th century. Animal defendants appeared before both church and secular courts, and the offences alleged against them ranged from murder to criminal damage. Human witnesses were often heard, and in ecclesiastical courts they were routinely provided with lawyers. This was not the case in secular courts, but for the most of the period concerned, neither were human defendants. The earliest record of an animal trial is the execution of a pig in 1266 at Fontenay-aux-Roses. If convicted, it was usual for an animal to be executed or exiled.
Exiled. Basically just returned to where it wants to be.
Yeah, exactly. But not even that. Like, it could be a domestic pig, for example, knocking about on a farm, and they're like, you have been found guilty of killing a man, and then they would just send it to, like, I don't know, like Portugal or something. And it's like, well, now you've just moved the pig.
Yeah, he's still on the loose.
The pig carries on killing.
Just like puts it on a rowing boat and just kind of pushes it out.
Talking of pigs, I took this from QI, but the key role that a Puritan pig played in the trial of George Spencer in 1641 was that it was a victim and a witness. Spencer was an ugly man. He was bald and had one eye, living in New Haven, Connecticut, home of the Puritans in America. He was accused of breaking Leviticus 20:15. If a man lie with a beast, he shall surely be put to death, and ye shall slay the beast. You'll love this. One day, a sow farrowed a litter of piglets, one of whom looked very similar to Spencer.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
He was brought to court
that poor man.
and accused of lying with the pig. He denied it, but the court said, "There shall be mercy shown should he be open and honest." Spencer then thought he should pretend to confess, and he did, but the court said that it would be God who would show mercy, not them, and they took his confession seriously. However, in order for him to be executed, the court needed 2 witnesses. One was Spencer, and the other was the pig. Who they brought into court, and they claimed the pig confessed to the crime. As a result, both were executed.
The pig confessed.
Wait, the pig was executed as well.
How did the pig confess?
The pig confessed.
Because it's a traitor, that's why. Can't trust
Isn't
him.
that just the most insane story?
Amazing.
They saw a pig came out and they were like, that looks like our friend George.
Wow.
And the only explanation was that he impregnated a pig and fathered its children. There was another instance of animal trials being involved with bestiality. In France, in 1710, a man was spotted having sex with a donkey.
Oh no!
Donkey! So he can't even get away with this. Like it's happened. He's been seen doing it.
Wait, question.
Several character witnesses were brought in to testify on behalf of the donkey, saying that the donkey was good and a victim of the crime, not a perpetrator.
It was
the
a
donkey.
donkey.
So the donkey wasn't doing the
wasn't a
guy. The guy was doing the donkey.
The guy was doing. It's hard for a donkey to do a guy.
I don't know.
Well,
they're long. It's
well.
like a horse.
So the donkey was let off, and just the man who mated with it was executed. So that's good.
Man who
So
mated
the execution
with
is like
the
the way to go.
Is execution still a thing?
In some places, of course it is, yeah.
Should be everywhere.
When did France stop using the guillotine? Because I feel like it was recently.
I think when the first Star Wars movie came out, they were still guillotining people.
That's men's.
Really?
Recent.
Legend has it that during the Napoleonic Wars of the early 19th century, a shipwrecked monkey was hanged by the people of Hartlepool, believing him to be a French spy.
Oh, not Napoleon Bonaparte.
To this day, people from Hartlepool are known as monkey hangers. People call them that during like football games and stuff. Yeah, a French ship was spotted floundering and sinking off the Hartlepool coast. Suspicious of enemy ships and nervous of possible invasion, the good folk of Hartlepool rushed down to the beach, where amongst the wreckage of the ship they found the only survivor, the ship's monkey, which was apparently dressed in a miniature military-style uniform. This town is a long way from France, and most of the populace had never met or even seen a Frenchman. But some satirical cartoons of the time pictured the French as monkey-like creatures with tails and claws.
Oh, so
I don't know why we discontinued
it was
that.
French.
Yeah, classic. We should do that again. We should make more fun of the French. So perhaps the locals could be forgiven for deciding that the monkey in its uniform must be a Frenchman, and a French spy at that. There was a trial to ascertain whether the monkey was guilty of spying or not. However, the monkey was strangely unable to answer any of the court's questions and was therefore found guilty. The townsfolk then dragged him into the town square and hanged him.
Oh my god.
So
He
I'm
was
sad
shrieking with a
now.
French accent, so they did what had to be done.
Yeah, they did it. There could actually be, I mean, as funny as that is, and sad that I mean, it's already sad that they hanged a poor innocent monkey, but there could actually be a darker twist to this story, right? So this is just a legend. This isn't
On the monkey.
this monkey story is only like an urban legend, right? But
Right.
it is. Some people have thought that maybe they didn't actually hang a monkey in the literal sense, but rather a small boy. They used to call boys on ships who would deliver gunpowder and cannibals and stuff. They used to call them powder monkeys.
Right.
So small boys were employed on warships to prime the cannons with gunpowder. So the story might be that they actually found the only survivor of a French shipwreck, who was a young boy who was French, and they were like, must be a spy, time to die.
Nice.
You're a poet.
Thank
You
you,
didn't even
Hartlepool.
realise you're one of those things.
That's my sort of mindset whenever I see someone who's French.
It's
Yeah.
brilliant.
Kill them.
Kill them all. The Wikipedia article for Hartlepool has like on the same level as the headings like history, geography. There's one that just says monkeys. Hartlepool. Yeah, there's monkeys. Well, there isn't monkeys in Hartlepool. In fact, it's probably one of the only. If there were to be monkeys in England, that would probably be a place where they were none, because monkeys don't have a good track record there.
Yeah, and if you were a monkey, you just wouldn't go there.
No, you
To be
wouldn't.
honest.
In Dorset, there's a zoo dedicated to monkeys called Monkey World, and I flew a glider over the top of it, and I looked out and I saw an orangutan, and I was happy.
Is that true? Is that a true story?
Yeah, genuinely.
That sounds like a child's invention.
I
Mummy, when I'm older, I want to go to Monkey World and fly a plane into Monkey World and see orangutan.
So basically, it was a coincidence that I flew over it. So there is actually Monkey World, and I was gliding nearby, and we just happened to take a course over the overhead.
When you say
Monkey
gliding,
World.
were you actually? Was it like paragliding?
No, so the way this wasn't like hang gliding. It was
Wingsuit.
like so basically it was like it's like
Flying
a plane
squirrel.
without an engine. You basically get catapulted into the air.
Yeah, I've seen those things. They used to fly over my village, but like the village is protected airspace, so they were like, "Please don't do that." And then they kept doing it, and we were like, "No, please, actually don't do that because you might kill a child."
We'll shoot you down. We will shoot you inside.
Yeah, Doris has got an RPG, and she will use it.
Well, I live on an old RAF base that was active like during like a few of the wars.
Yeah, we have one as well. It's just down the road.
So like right outside my house is like a concrete like hexagon, and that's where they used to use like anti-aircraft guns.
Wow.
And I really feel like we should rebuild it.
Yeah.
Just in case we see any French passenger planes
Yeah.
flying
You
overhead.
never know. There are French spies in the sky.
Yeah, you never know.
Kill them all.
For legal reasons, that is a joke. We don't hate the French. It's just a meme. We think the French are. It's funny to dislike the French for no reason. That's why it's funny. There's something about the English hatred of French and a mutual hatred of English by the French that just makes me laugh.
We don't hate French. We like French. The other day I was cooking like traditional French food.
Yeah, so that's fine then.
Yeah.
What are you eating? Snails?
No, I made a velouté.
Oh. I'm going to pretend you know what it is.
No, made a velouté, George. Stop being silly.
We love all people here, whether you're English, Australian, American, or even a dirty frog-eating bastard. You are welcome on this podcast.
The only people we don't like are aliens.
Whoa! Speak for yourself. I'd be awesome if
Yeah.
there was an alien, not like
Cool.
tuning in.
No, I'm thinking of the alien, like the xenomorphs.
Oh, okay, yeah, no, I wouldn't.
Oh,
yeah, no.
right.
No, I'd be down with that.
Why would he be listening to our podcast?
Yeah, just like.
Well, they gotta have downtime somehow.
It's got to do something after it's murdered everyone on the
He's got to
ISS.
kick his feet up. Alright.
Right, Janet, I'm going off for the night.
It's like I couldn't possibly miss an episode of my Cloud 5, covered in the blood of like astronauts. Now for our beloved Florida Man segment, where Brandon guides us through the weekly tales of the utter fruitcakes across the pond. For the latest in our forays into Floridians' frequent follies, Brandon brings us this week's Florida Man.
I'm sorry, that always impresses me, Jack. How you do that with the Fs.
With the Fs.
So many Fs.
I love a bit of alliteration.
Should have snuck the F word in there.
For the latest in our forays
Spice
into
it up.
Floridians' fucking frequent follies.
Yeah, exactly. It makes it so much better.
I should add like a new F word every week. Oh, that's what I'm gonna do. Season 2 is gonna be. It's gonna start off with for the latest in our journeys into Floridians' stories, and then like every day a new F word will appear. And by the end of the season, there's 10. By the end of season 5, it will just be the whole podcast of me introducing the Florida Man segment.
You'll spend like the whole week practicing because there's like 58 words in there.
Yeah, I can't get it wrong, otherwise I have to restart.
Right, want to hear about some Florida?
No.
Yes.
No, hate it.
No, moving on. Factoids.
This week in Weird.
Right, okay. So the first one. Florida man speeds through crash site and tells deputies he has business at the Ritz.
Fair enough.
Right, so what crash site? Why does he go to the Ritz?
Business.
Yeah, so basically there was a serious crash involving a downed power line and stuff, and it was all barricaded by like the police.
Right.
And this was about 11 p.m. one night. And this man sped through it, almost hitting 6 deputies. And he told them, like when they pulled him out of his car.
Through. He just doesn't care. He's smashing through them all. They're all diving out of the way.
So basically, he's called Joshua Gorkman. He was driving a BMW and sporting one sock, boxers, and an undershirt.
Oh my god.
One shot.
And
This guy sounds like a Chad.
He does.
so basically, when he was pulled over, he got out of his car, walked up to them like aggressively, and told them he had business at the Ritz.
That's
And when they searched his car, they found cocaine, a rolled up dollar bill, a marijuana grinder, and hash oil vaporizer in his vehicle.
I am not surprised about any of those items.
So
being
he's
located in his
facing a
car.
lot of charges.
Yeah, you will if you do that.
Yeah,
was
this
he
guy
high on
sounds like a
one of the
stable man.
substances mentioned during this rampage?
do you think,
All of
Jack?
them.
What do you think, Jack?
He was multiple drug charges and 6 different accounts of aggravated assault.
Wow,
6.
incredible!
6.
What?
One
So
for
remind me
each
what the
deputy.
crash site? What crash site?
So basically, a power line went down.
Oh right, yeah, okay, that's awesome. Sorry, get out of the way. I have business at the Ritz. He says while like
Business.
half naked.
What do you mean? Just let him do his business. What do you mean?
What business?
Yeah,
Why did he think he was going to
Business
get away
he
with that?
have at the Ritz.
it's just business. It's
Just
a risk.
business.
Why is he trying to drive through a power line to get there?
He's hustling.
Because he wants to.
The Ritz
You've got
is the
places
other
to
side of the
be.
power line.
He doesn't have business with the Ritz. The Ritz has business with him.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Right, I've got a second one, and then I've got
second Florida man.
And I've got a little thing. So, this is actually Florida woman. Florida woman attacks her roommate for playing the same song over and over again on a loop.
What song was it?
What, like torture?
So
It's like the Clockwork Orange. She's got like those little tabs in her eyes, holding them open.
So you know that song, Freak Out? Like,
yes.
Freak Out!
Yeah.
Apparently...
Le freak, c'est chic. Yeah.
So basically, a 53-year-old Mary Ann Lannon lived with her cousin in Florida for the last 5 years, and earlier this week she lost it when the cousin wouldn't stop blasting the same song over and over again on a loop. It happened about midnight in the morning, and she freaked out over the song Le Freak.
That is beautifully ironic.
I get it.
So was she doing it to like... Was it an attempted murder, or was it just like, shut up, woman, and
she
like
was
a
just
punch?
really... So basically, she shoved her 64-year-old cousin into a makeshift tiki bar they'd set up, and it collapsed. Her
I
cousin
thought you were going to say like a wood chipper.
Her cousin fell through the bar, landed face first on a speaker, and ended up with a black eye. She's been arrested for domestic battery, and she's not allowed to have any contact with her cousin now.
I find it amazing that she was injured by the speaker, like perfect karma.
Yeah.
Yeah, the thing that she was blasting it from.
I know my uncle really wanted to kill me after I wouldn't stop playing Africa by Toto for like 2 weeks while we were in France.
I listened to Africa and Down Under, those two songs, respectively.
My grandma has a story. So my grandma loves Simon and Garfunkel.
Yeah.
But like, she had a roommate at a university, or a flatmate rather. I think they were in a big like apartment building, and I think someone lived downstairs or whatever. And that person kept playing "Bridge Over Troubled Water" by Simon Garfunkel over and like constantly, to the point where like even now my grandma's like in her 70s, and she like whenever I mention "Bridge Over Troubled Water," she just starts like uncontrollably retching.
Oh god.
So funny. Honestly, the way to get a quick reaction out of grandma is to mention Bridget, or start like humming it, and she'll crash the car.
Right, I've got 3 more, but I'm going to do 2 of
them. 3 more?
Right, 2 of them.
You should set it as her alarm jack, like in the morning, just trip it, like change it.
She'll never wake up if that happens, George. She'll just give up.
Right. So these 3 have actually been sent in by a listener.
Whoa.
And I'm going to go over 2 of them. And I'm going to go into detail on my favourite one. So thank you, Bryony, for sending these in.
Oh, lovely. Bryony is absolutely the most devoted listener we've got so far, Bryony. Yeah. Thank you.
She's definitely a top fan.
She is a top fan. You're on the top of the list to get the merch that inevitably comes out. Yeah. You're the first person to get to walk around with a T-shirt that says "Identify the bollocks," or alternatively, "I am the bollock."
Yeah, you can have the bollock.
You are our designated bollock, Bryony. Thank you.
So, who is ready to listen to Bryony's 3 Florida-related headlines?
I've never been more ready.
Ready.
Right. Okay. So the first one. Naked Florida man performs strange dance at McDonald's before trying to have relations with a railing. That's a beautiful one.
That's the best.
The second one.
Oh my god, how could you get better than that? I try and have relations. What does that mean?
No,
trust me, mate with it.
The last one is the best one.
Thick railing.
Yeah. Oh god.
Right.
Naked dance. I'll have a Big Mac, please. Oh, kada.
Hello, railing.
Hello, railing. Time to put my pee-pee in it.
Gonna put out my bum.
Crude metal hole drilled into the railing. Yeah.
Perfect.
Speaking of bum, I've got the next one. Florida man has buttocks removed due to complications of 8-inch screwdriver found in his anus.
Found? Look what I found.
He was born with it. Yeah.
Oh my god.
He's just walking around, it fell out one day. He was like, oh, there it is.
I love it's found as if he had no knowledge of it. It's like this was just located.
Right, and are you ready for the best one?
Please.
No. I'm so ready.
Florida man kills his best friend for not saying no homo after 10-hour anal session.
Oh my god!
And I had to get the entire article for this one. So,
Is this real? That cannot be real.
Right.
Murders him.
So, Florida. So, 21-year-old Tyrone Smith killed his so-called best friend, Xavier Johnson, after a 10-hour anal session between two completely heterosexual men.
No.
Xavier,
I dispute the heterosexual aspect of that article. There is no way. There's no way. You're automatically not heterosexual if you do a 10-hour bumming session with a man.
Xavier didn't say no homo or no homo bro, thus automatically converting it into non-heterosexual sex.
This is a lie. This is not real.
Well, it's an entire... Well, I'm reading it because Brian sent it to me and I love it.
What website is this?
Grindr.
Hustlers.com.
Grindr.
It cannot be true.
I don't care if it's not true. It's too good. It's too good. And
it's still comedy.
So Tyrone stabbed his friend 18 times in the chest and then called an ambulance, but it was too late.
Oh my god.
Jesus.
Before the paramedics arrived, Tyrone admitted stabbing him one last time to make sure he was dead. He was not with that. In an interview, he said he was not with that gay stuff.
Amazing.
I genuinely adore this article, but
I think it's fake.
It's been classified as a fake news.
Yeah, well, judging by the police saying that they think 15 years is fair instead of 30 because he did what he had to do. So I've realised that this might be fake.
It's a bollock. We found a rogue bollock.
Yes, from 2018, Hustlers stars itself as a satire website and carries a disclaimer at the bottom of each page. Yeah, so it's
Bryony,
that's brilliant.
I'm sorry we had to debunk your Florida man.
How dare you send us bollocks?
Hey, but it's a good one though. Oh, we technically
it was a good
identified
bollock.
it. We had two true and one false.
We did. Well done,
Identified
guys.
The bollock.
It was a great
test.
bollock.
Bridie
It was a
said
great bollock.
test.
She did.
Well done, Bryony. I'm proud of you.
I mean, it was such a good article.
It was so good. 10-hour
I mean, I would say I wish it was true, but that would require wishing death on a man. So
yeah, but
I
you didn't see
suppose
no homo.
A 10-hour.
Everybody wins in this scenario. Thank you, Brandon, for those Florida men, and Bryony for supplying 3/5 of them this week.
Yeah, thank you, Bryony.
Also this week in Weird, why are Japan's gun control laws causing problems?
The mafia.
Well, no, actually. Japan's gun control laws are actually really strict. If you fire a gun at someone, you can spend more than 20 years in jail, and the penalties are severe enough to actually deter the Yakuza, who are the Japanese crime syndicate.
Oh, really?
Yeah. In 2017, there were only 3 people killed by gunshots in the entire nation.
That
sounds lovely, but why is it causing issues? Why is it causing problems?
It's like, I'm bored, isn't it? I just go shoot someone. And like, no, you can't. But I want to.
So you think
Is
people are
it
bored?
like self-protection? Because people are breaking in, you can't do anything.
Is it because of hunting?
I was going to say, is it going to be some sort of hunting thing?
The problem is not actually to do with guns. It's the fact that people are using crossbows instead.
That's amazing.
Yeah, in the last 10 years,
that.
there have been 32 cases of crossbows being used in crimes, with 6 people killed and 11 people injured. Under the new laws, citizens will have to get permission from local public safety commissions to acquire a crossbow and keep them locked away when not in use. They'll only be allowed at firing ranges and other special venues. Illegal possession can be punished with a prison term of up to 3 years or a fine of up to 500,000 yen, which is about $5,000 US.
Have you ever used a crossbow before?
No, although they are really cool, if a little bit impractical.
I've had like my fair share of I've done like air rifle shooting, I've done like archery, I've used a crossbow before. They are really fun.
I can imagine them being quite fun.
Yeah, because I mean, obviously, it takes a lot to get good at aiming and stuff, because that kind of thing is really difficult to get good at.
They don't really have crosshairs
accuracy.
either, do they? Crossbows.
They can do. You can get crossbows with scopes.
Really?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
But Crossbows are amazing. They're really
They've got a
cool.
really cool history as well. The Chinese, in particular, they invented things like repeating crossbows and huge kind of, they're called bed crossbows, which are mounted on walls for siege warfare. The earliest repeating crossbow is from the 4th century BC in a tomb within an ancient Chinese province. The earliest repeating crossbow.
By repeating, do you mean like
It repeats.
As in, it's a one-handed movement to like load it.
Oh, I know what you mean. Like a repeater in Red Dead.
Yeah, exactly.
Brilliant.
Yeah, see, now I'm smart, see.
Yeah, it's not like a machine gun crossbow. Like they're just firing arrows everywhere.
It's just basically just easy to reload it.
The thing is, though, I
much
could
easier.
see a crossbow bolt being deadlier than a bullet in some cases, because you can tip them with poison. You like
A bullet though.
and
And
like,
amazing things about crossbows is that like there are still people using some in places like
Japan.
I think they gave them to people in like Serbia recently in a war on to do with Kosovo or Kosovo. I don't know how to pronounce that country, but yeah, and I think there's a real psychological impact of people using crossbows as well, and they're really quiet, so they're really good for like long range sniping and things like that.
Here's a fun fact for you, because I was just thinking about like different types of ammunition. Did you know that according to like different peace treaties and sort of international agreements regarding weapons and stuff, there are certain types of bullets, I think they might be ceramic or like other sort of very breakable material, that are banned in warfare, because basically when you shoot someone with them, they'll shatter in the body, thus creating like a larger surface area of damage to the wound, which is harder to heal and harder to sort of recover from.
It's banned in battle?
Yeah.
It's so interesting that there are people. We've invented weapons that are so dangerous, are so good at doing what they do, what they're designed for, which is kill. There are weapons and ammunition that is so good at doing that they're not allowed.
It's like the Geneva Convention, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you're not allowed to use like horrible chemical weapons. I mean, I'm glad that it exists, but it's amazing that humans are like, you're only allowed to use the gun that will probably kill you, not the one that will absolutely, definitely kill you agonizingly painfully.
You know napalm?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's banned now after the Vietnam War.
Yeah, I think you're right. But Brandon, going back to your original point about crossbows being poisoned.
Yeah.
There is something called the Imperial Encyclopedia, which is a massive book written in China during the Qing dynasty. It began in 1700 and completed in 1725. Talking about repeating crossbows, also known as the Zug crossbow. The Zugnu is a handy little weapon that even the Confucian scholar or palace women can use in self-defense. It fires weakly, so you have to tip the darts with poison. Once the darts are tipped with quote-unquote tiger-killing poison, you can shoot it at a horse or a man, and as long as you draw blood, your adversary will die immediately.
Immediately?
You know what? The Chinese, like, they have, like, genuinely really interesting, like, ancient texts on
so interesting.
warfare.
And Chinese history is fascinating. We don't learn about it nearly enough, because there's so much. Chinese history is so rich.
I'm a geography student, and I'm currently learning about sort of geopolitics and migration, and along with that, as a case study, we're learning about the history of China, and it is, like, very, very, very rich. Like, there's
amazing.
so much going on.
Crossbows are still used today in various situations. The coolest use of a crossbow today has to be when they use it in conjunction with ropes to create zip lines in difficult terrain.
Yeah, I can see that working.
Like a graphic
Like
thing.
ODM gear.
Yeah. How fucking cool is
ODM
that?
gear. It is very cool.
And definitely the coolest use for a crossbow I have ever seen has to be the sauterelle. Right? That's French for grasshopper. It's a crossbow used by the French and British forces on the Western Front during World War One. Guess what it does?
I assume the bolt, like, bounces up. Like, they shoot it at the ground, it bounces up and hits them in the stomach or something.
Holy that would be really cool. But
That
no,
would be cool.
instead of darts or bolts, it is a bomb-throwing crossbow. It's designed to throw a hand grenade in a high trajectory into enemy trenches.
I think I've heard of that.
And it was originally dismissed by the French army, but a certain general was like, "No, I reckon it's got some practical value. Get that involved." It was lighter and more portable than the Leech trenched catapult, but less powerful. It weighed 24 kilograms and could throw an F1 grenade or Mills bomb 110 to 140 meters.
Wow.
That's impressive.
That's pretty
That's a
good.
lot of
Obviously
meters.
horrifying because warfare, but
Yeah.
very impressive.
Yeah, I want one.
There's a
To fire like dead rats into my neighbour's garden. There's a reason for that.
Do you have just a collection of dead rats?
Yeah, just stewing in my wardrobe. No, I quite like my neighbour, but they've been doing some work on their back garden, and my bedroom faces their house. So they've been laying down like tiles and stuff, and the amount of drilling, and they're like, let's do drilling at 7 a.m. Let's do it now. It's a really good time. It's not like the entire village needs to sleep.
Do you want to hear a funny story that happened to me and my dad this week?
Please do.
So basically, my dad went to go get his COVID vaccine because, like, #diabetes. Hi, Dad, if you're listening. I'm glad you're doing okay.
Did you not tell him? Did you not go downstairs and tell him?
Brandon only speaks to his dad via this podcast.
Yeah, I was going to say. I was like, hi, Dad.
Yeah, like it's like families that communicate via like weekly newsletter.
So, like,
Today I rescued a bird.
He went to go get his vaccine, right? And when he came back, our fence had a for sale sign on it. And so did our neighbour's fence. And my dad was my dad was like, oh, maybe they like put it on the wrong house. But then I was like, wait a minute, why would they put a for sale sign on my neighbour's fence, but then also on our fence? So we were like, So he called the company and they were like, oh, like, total mistake, sorry, we'll come pick it up. We thought they were going to come like fairly quickly, but they didn't.
Right.
So we pulled it down, like ripped it off, drew penises on it, and then left it out.
Amazing.
Brilliant.
And then they didn't come pick it up. So my dad put it in his car and went and dumped it at work. And then,
What, just like in a bin at work, or just like in his boss's office?
no idea.
like,
No idea. It
throwing it
probably
around.
been-
Why did he have to drive to work to dispose of it?
Like a body, like a dead body. He's got to hide it away from the
Travel out to
location.
the desert.
Then it gets better, right? So we had this like big white wooden pole on our fence that we were like, oh, we're gonna have to remove that. And we noticed our neighbour's one had been removed. And we were like, oh, maybe they went and removed the wrong one again. So the next day, the representative from this estate agent came, and he was like, oh, I'm really sorry about it. Where's the sign? And we were like, oh, we think it was put up wrong or something, because it's not there anymore. We think it's like fallen off and been like stolen. And he was like, ah.
Taken by the wind.
And then he was like, sorry about that. It was a new guy. Don't worry, we've fired him.
Oh my god!
You've got a man fired.
No, but
God,
apparently he's made the same mistake to like multiple houses and multiple areple
Oh, he's
Like,
the sign
in-
bandit.
Imagine being so bad at your job that you put up a for sale sign 2 houses next to each other.
Multiple times.
Yeah, like what is he
Multiple
doing?
times.
What is it? What was your neighbour selling their house, or was he just being a total thickhead?
They're planning on selling it, but they're not selling it at the moment because of COVID. So
Right.
they just
But
took
he
it
got
out.
the memo. He heard the word "sell" and was like, "My services are needed." And now every house in like a 5-mile radius has a for sale sign on it.
It was so weird though. Nothing better than me and my dad running at this for sale sign. I had a pitchfork. I literally stabbed it with a
Imagine you
pitchfork.
like in the middle of the night with like head torches on, like running out and destroying it.
This is mine and my dad's relationship, like literally.
Like crazy tribes people.
The summer of 2020, me and my dad went on a walk near where I live because there's a solar farm, and sometimes they have like cows there. And my dad was walking with a guitar, and he ended up standing in front of this huge group of cows, singing to them and serenading them with his guitar.
Oh my god!
Literally,
That is amazing.
it was
How did he
beautiful.
pitch that to you? Was that a spontaneous thing, or was he like, "Brandon, come with me. We're gonna go sing to the cows"?
Well, no, I was like, "Do you want to go on a walk?" And he was like, "Yeah, sure." And he was like, "I'm going to bring my guitar."
Fair enough.
But of course,
Can't argue with that.
of course. What other implement would one need on a walk?
So yeah, that's my discussion about my father.
Amazing. Your dad listens to this podcast as well, doesn't he?
Yeah, both my parents do. My mum likes to listen to it and look at me disappointedly whenever I mention anything. Like last week when we were talking...
Whenever I
Does she
speak.
listen? Does she listen to it with you in the room?
Yeah, I sit and watch their reactions.
Amazing.
No, the
Oh,
thing
I
is,
love that.
last week when we were talking about the woman who had like ate the gin-filled raisins.
Yes.
And I was like, and I said, come.
You did say come, yes.
My mum just looked at me and she was like, did you say come? And I was like, yeah.
Yeah, I did, Mom. What you gonna do about it?
Yeah, you're gonna do nothing. Hello, Mother. I know you're listening to this right now. I know you're proud of me.
I'm sure she is. She's glowing with pride right now.
Yeah.
I'm sure she's glowing with pride listening to the story of her husband and son defacing and vandalising a for sale sign and going out to sing to the cows. Like the normal people that you very clearly are.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they put it on our property. Technically, it was ours at that point.
I don't think that's how it works.
Yeah, I don't think that's completely
Anything
true.
that steps within my fence is mine now.
Yeah.
Someone lands a drone in your garden, you're like, well, sorry, you've given it to me.
It's like some man like walks in, like you invite someone in, and then they come in. You're like, yeah, you're my property now.
The whole family just jumps on him and strips him of all valuables, like rats.
We've got like a huge cage downstairs full of like Amazon delivery drivers and like Tesco guys. You know, like when you get a Tesco delivery and they deliver it in those little like green like crates.
Yeah.
About 70 of those now.
Oh, brilliant! Full of like human remains. Excellent. The postman comes down the drive and he's like, oh, could you sign this for me? And you're like, yeah, sure. And then you put a bag over his head and drag him into the garage.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Now for a more erudite experience, our regular scientific segment presented by our very own Luke Potter, Lord of the Science Corner. What do you have for us today, Luke?
I have nematode hunting fungi.
Now, which order does that go? Is that fungus hunting a nematode, or is that a nematode hunting fungus?
That is a fungus hunting a nematode.
A fungus hunting a nematode?
Yes. So, the first question that I had, because I originally got this idea from when I was doing some reading earlier on the week. I've actually got the book next to me. I'm not sponsored or anything, but it's a great book. It's called Entangled Life by Merlin Sheldrake. And it's so good. It's all about
Merlin Sheldrake? That is not
name.
a real man. That is a character from a fantasy novel.
Nah, that's a Harry Potter name. That
Merlin
sounds
Sheldrake went on a quest to destroy the sword of Glechenech.
Nah,
I'm familiar.
that sounds like a botany teacher from Hogwarts.
Botany. That's what they call it. Today in botany.
What is it, herbology?
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. Now you're going to go upstairs and do some maths.
Anyway, so it's called Entangled Life, and it's all about different types of fungi. And I was reading it earlier on this week, and I came across this. It's like a little tiny paragraph talking about nematodes and fungi, and I was
what are nematodes?
This is the first question.
I'm sorry. I ruined your
God.
science guy gift. Sorry.
Well, it's ruined now. Right, it's red. Right, cheers, guys.
Moving on to factoids.
So my first question was, what actually are nematodes? I thought they were like earthworms. They're not. They're smaller. They are worm-shaped, so they are kind of like the shape of an earthworm.
Okay.
But they're much smaller. The mean body length is 5 to 100 nanometers in length. No, not nano, micrometers.
That sounds like my
I was gonna
penis.
say.
And then it was also like, but there are some which are like 5 millimeters long. So Wikipedia, get your life in order.
Yeah, Wikipedia.
So these worms are animals that belong to the phylum Nematoda. And they're very much just like microscopic worm-looking things that inhabit basically every single ecosystem on Earth, from like little ponds to soils to deserts to Antarctica to deep sea oceans and stuff like that.
What about Skegness?
The bane of all life, Skegness.
No.
Well, have you ever been to the Skegness
I
Aquarium?
imagine so.
I've never been there.
It's just like a dead stingray playing in the water.
That's it. That's the aquarium. You walk in, it's all grey, and they're like, "Tickets, please." And you give them the ticket, and you walk into a room with it's just like one of those big floor-to-ceiling tanks, and there's just a stingray like face up, bobbing in the water, and that's it. There you leave.
Instead of water, it's just full of dead fish.
Yeah, crammed.
There isn't an exit either. It just says good luck.
Good luck. You live it now.
They They just lock the door behind you, and then they break the tank.
Luke, before we move on, there is something called a nematologist.
Yes.
Which is a scientific discipline concerned with the study of nematodes.
Yeah.
And apparently, nematological investigation dates back to the days of Aristotle.
I did not know that.
Yeah, a large number of nematode observations were recorded, many by the notable great minds of ancient civilization. Hippocrates, Aristotle, Celsus, Galen, and Redi. Pierre Borel, in 1653, was the first to observe and describe a free-living nematode, which he dubbed the vinegar eel.
Honestly, though, like, science is really cool, because, like, you'll have very, very, very specific branches of science. Like, I'm pretty sure there's, like, an entire branch of science dedicated to limestone.
Oh, yeah.
And the study of it.
So
Like,
wow,
nothing,
geology isn't a science. Boo.
Yeah, Gavin. Boo.
Yeah, boo.
Sharp Jack, you do English, drama, and sociology.
Did you know, actually, Luke, you'll love this. The earliest allusion to a plant parasitic nematode is preserved in famous verse. Sowed cockle, reaped no corn. A line by William Shakespeare in Love's Labour's Lost. and it's that's referencing
cool.
blighted wheat caused by the plant parasite.
Number 13, cockle.
It's a type of nematode. And it says Needham solved the riddle of cockle when he crushed one of the diseased wheat grains and observed aquatic animals denominated worms, eels, or serpents, which they very much resemble. So William Shakespeare is talking about nematodes in Love Labour's Lost.
It's talking about cock.
In Love Actually.
Yeah, Love Actually, the famous
Famously
William Shakespeare.
written, yeah.
Yeah.
So, anyway, a big important factor to the whole of this science corner is the role of fungi in ecosystems. So fungi are mainly decomposers. However, in this case, if there isn't much material to decompose, and if a certain material, like nitrogen in this case, is lacking, then these fungi will go to different methods to find their food and these sources of nitrogen.
Oh, Luke, we're not really fun guys.
Stop, please.
Oh my god, Joe.
Do you know what? I was tempted to make that joke earlier, but I thought no, because that would be too low for this podcast. And then
I was going to say nothing's too low, Jack.
Immediately, the next thought that came into my head was, it's all right, Joe will say it. And lo and behold, he did.
Gonna cry.
And so the first example of this nematode hunting fungi is the fungi Arthrobotrys oligospora.
Fungi don't move very quickly, do they?
No, but this is...
They move like Venom in Spider-Man 3, like crawling along. Like, how are they meant to hunt? I imagine nematodes as a living animal probably move slightly faster than fungi.
Well, I'm about to get to that in a second.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm
just listen.
Sorry, I'm too excited.
The mushroom is just the reproductive system of the fungi. The fungi is a lot more complex, so it will contain the mycelium as well, which is basically like the fungi's version of roots. So they branch over and then they secrete enzymes which digest their surroundings, and then that's how they act as decomposers.
That's really cool.
And then they produce the fungi mushroom shoot, which we usually call mushrooms, and then those produce loads of spores, and then the mushroom roots itself somewhere else, and the plant that was decomposing the thing originally dies.
Yeah, have you seen like mushroom farms? Like in Japan, you can have like pick your own mushroom places where you go in. They've got like huge walls of like mycelium growing these mushrooms, and you just go and cut yourself some, put them in a bag, buy them, and you can go home.
Then you're allowed to leave.
Yeah, I was just about to say, thanks for specifying you may leave as like one stage of the process. Once you're in, you have to go with the mushroom, otherwise you are not allowed to leave.
You forget your money. Crap.
Yeah,
food for the mushrooms now.
Looks like I'll live here forever.
And so these Arthrobotrys fungi are found in ponds, and they kind of usually just exist as spores and not much else. They usually produce so one spore will find something to decompose. They'll root in, they'll decompose, and they'll produce loads of different spores, and then they'll just kind of go along in the water column. However, this actually came from a video. All of this information I'm about to tell you for this example And what these people did, they're called Journey to the Microcosmos. It's really cool if you like microscopy. So this guy basically took a sample of his pond. He put it in a humidity chamber, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, like a day later, he came back to it, and he basically found that there were loads and loads and loads and loads of hyphae everywhere. And this is basically because the nitrogen sources inside his sample, they'd all been depleted. Because obviously it's a closed environment, everything's using all the environmental sources available to them, and they're not being replenished. So these fungi started to stop having their nitrogen sources. And then so this is why they started, quote unquote, hunting for their food. So this fungi creates a 3D hyphal net. So a 3D net basically with their hyphae.
Thanks. Thank you for clarifying. A 3D hyphal net, mate. It's basically a 3D net made of hyphae.
Well, I just
just in case you didn't know what it was.
Thanks. I'm really glad you clarified that. I bet all the listeners at home are going, now it is clear.
Now I know what he's on about.
It really cleared it up, I know.
Yeah.
And so they'll create these nets, and then what the fungus will do, it's really clever, is it secretes chemicals which actually mimic the food of the nematodes. And so this attracts them because these nematodes will pick up the chemicals in the water.
Come and eat me, my friend. And he comes over to tree. He's like, yes, I will come and eat you. And then the fungus is like, haha, 'tis you who
Is that
shall
an
be
evolutionary thing?
Yes, it is, Brandon.
Adaptation.
Most things are evolutionary things, aren't they? Most behaviours and things in animal and plant kingdom. Most of it is evolution, you would think.
I've been told on multiple occasions that people are surprised that natural selection hasn't taken me yet.
That's because we have systems in place like hospitals and mental institutions.
Yeah, and the fact that you can't be killed.
You can be.
And so basically, this is basically just
Was that a threat, Joe?
fungus.
We'll see about that. You had to clarify. George was like, "You can't be killed," and there was a silence, and Joe went, "You can be."
Just pointing out.
Nobody's unkillable by my hand.
Right, well, basically this is the fungus version of a siren, like those sirens, those weird mermaids. So these nematodes will try and find the food source because the chemicals secreted by the fungi, and so they'll wiggle over towards them until they start to find this hyphal network, and so they'll start wiggling through the hyphal network.
Brilliant.
The fungi have a secondary structure on their hyphal network, which is really, really cool. It's basically like a little noose, and
when they get sad,
it's really nice.
Well, it's really cool because when the nematode wiggles through the noose, it will pick this up and it will expand really, really quickly and basically trap the nematode worm into this ring. And from this, it's a little bit of a horror story. Then the fungus will inject a single hypha into the worm, which contains a toxin which paralyzes it, and then this hypha forms a bulb. From this bulb, many, 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 many different hypha come out, spread throughout the worm, and digest it from the inside out.
Brilliant.
More zombifying things.
That makes me hungry.
Yeah. Fungi are cool.
Yeah, I'm hungry for mushrooms now.
Hungry for fungi.
I could do with some mushroom on toast.
I actually loathe mushrooms. I hate them.
Really?
I do not enjoy them, ever.
Do you want to hear a fun fact about cooking mushrooms?
What is a fun fact about cooking mushrooms, Brendan?
It is near to impossible to overcook a mushroom.
What if you put it literally in a fire?
What if you put it in a kiln?
What if you put it in lava?
Nothing survives the kiln.
No, I love mushrooms. Like, mushrooms are genuinely like a really fun thing to cook with, and they're tasty as hell.
I hate them. So,
Anyway.
that's fantastic. Do you have more post-it notes?
I have a second example, and then
Ooh.
I'm just gonna have a quick little
Wank.
round off.
Oh, I know what I want to see.
Just quickly.
Just a quick one.
Just during factoids.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the second example, I don't actually have a species for you, but the second example.
What's the fucking point?
Second example is using chemical signals and harpoons. I'm just gonna keep talking at this point. And so nematodes secrete this certain type of chemical. These chemicals are called as carcicides.
Right.
And and they basically help attract mates or whatever. But these fungi will pick up on these signals, and once they do, they start producing loads and loads of spores. And these spores they won't swim, but they'll kind of float through the water. Well, it said swim on the article that I was reading, and I was like, that's utter rubbish. Of course they don't swim, they float.
I hope you sent
Not
a
a little
strongly
sperm.
worded email to them.
I did, Jack. There were many hitherto's.
They don't
So
swim, you
these-
fucking idiot.
Okay, and so these spores will float through the water until they find a worm, and once they find a worm, they attach themselves. And so once the spores attach themselves, they need to find a way to actually stabilize their fungal body so that they don't just float away. They use harpoon-like structures, so that the hypha in the worm will produce different hypha which sprout outwards, and then they'll use quote-unquote gun cells which fire hyphae into the nematode worms, and they'll basically start digesting it in the same way. And what's really cool is all of these different species of fungus that have monopolized on hunting these nematodes all came from different branches, like in the fungal family tree, as it were. So they all evolved independently to digest these nematode worms.
I just drank some water, and I just realised that that's going to be picked up on the mic, so I apologise.
Oh, it's not as
Jack.
good as Brandon's fart from last episode.
Wait, did you hear it?
Yeah, it's in the episode.
Wait, it's actually.
It goes unnoticed for a little while. It's like, and then nobody says anything for a while, and then Brandon just goes, I just did a fart, and I think it's picked up on the podcast. Oh, hilarious.
What's happening?
Luke, you said you had another thing after your second example.
The final little snippet. Basically, it was just thinking that although these fungi are actually seemed to be horrifying and very antagonistic, they're actually really, really helpful for ecosystems, because they're basically like a population control, because these nematodes are really, really prevalent in many different ecosystems, so it's really important that we have a really successful predator against them, as it were, so they eat them. And what is actually really funny is these nematode populations can spread diseases to organisms in the outer ecosystem. So the fungi that prey on them actually have evolved to be able to spread diseases within the nematode population.
That's amazing. That's so cool. Well, thank you, Luke, for sharing your
Thank you for
story about
sticking with
nematodes.
it.
Yeah, that is
And
beautiful.
yeah, thank you for persevering, because that's the most chaotic science corner we've ever done, and there was a lot happening there, and you struggled through, and I respect that in a man. Now, ladies and gentlemen, for some trivia to end the show in our weekly segment entitled Factoids, where I read out 3 facts. 2 are true, while 1 is a load of bollocks. It's your job to identify the bollocks.
Bollocks.
This week, we have a factoid based around 3 subjects: war, law, and fungus.
You could have said boar.
I couldn't have said
War,
spore.
law, and boar.
There's no boar. What are you talking about?
Spore.
Yeah, it could have been boar.
Like fungus spore.
First factoid: the largest living thing in the world is a mushroom.
Yes.
Factoid number 2: carousels were once used to train knights. Factoid number 3: in Chester, it is legal to shoot a Welshman with a longbow after midnight on Sunday.
The first one's fake.
Is it really Sunday if it's after midnight?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because Sunday
Yeah, so
starts.
it would be
Monday.
early hours of the Sunday then.
Oh, so I was thinking the other way. I was like, isn't that just Monday? I think the fungus one is true, because I think I read it in the book, and it's like fungus can fuse their hyphae together, so technically they become like one big thing, and they're massive.
I think it's the final. No, actually, I don't know, because the final one sounds so true.
No, it's the first one, because the last one there's this like obscure English law. Second one's bait.
Wait,
So it's first.
what's a carousel?
It's the spinny horse thing at like fairs. It's like you sit on a horse and then it spins you around at high speeds.
Did they have them then?
Well, it was probably a different thing then.
Yeah, I imagine it was a different thing named Carousel.
No, basically,
We've
instead of like it being electronic, they basically just strapped a load of horses to a pole and then the pole started spinning. That's how knights were trained. Basically, they had to dodge the horses.
No, they were sat on the horses and they had to withstand extreme G-force.
I think personally it is the third one. That is
Yeah, I'm
think it's
thinking
the
the
last
third
one.
one.
It's the
Yeah, I
first
think the
The
last one.
last one is it smells of bollocks. Don't ask me how I know.
it smells of bull cheese.
So that's at least 3 of you saying the third one. Joe, are you deciding?
first one. Because
You
you're
think it's
right.
the first one?
Should we do a wager, Brendan?
Oh yeah, wager time.
Here it comes. It returns with a vengeance. The wager.
Right, what do you want from me if you win?
Cock.
Okay, I want your left
As
kidney.
long as you say no homo at the end, though.
Yeah, don't forget, or Brandon will kill you.
So hold on, sorry. Brandon wants your left kidney. What do you want from Brandon? Joe?
I want them to be humiliated.
Whoa.
All right.
Sexually?
I mean, maybe. Depends.
If you play your cards right.
Get lucky.
So we're wagering your kidney or my dignity.
Yeah.
That sounds fair.
Right. Okay.
Well, the answer is number 3.
Yes.
Yes.
kidney.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I hope you're on the organ donors list, Joe.
Yes, I'm getting a kidney.
I'll give you the bollock first. Oh, that came out
Oh
wrong.
yeah, you will.
Go on then. If you're offering.
So in Chester, it's legal to shoot a Welshman with a longbow after midnight on Sunday. No, it isn't. But it is a commonly believed thing. It's that factoid is an amalgamation of 3 related urban legends that crop up in lists of strange laws. Some lists say it's legal to shoot a Welshman with a longbow on Sunday in the Cathedral Close in Hereford.
No, not Hereford.
Another one says that it's legal to do it inside the city walls in Chester, and others say that you're allowed to do it to a Scotsman inside the city walls of York, other than on a Sunday.
That's alright.
So there's lots of different versions floating around, but there is actually no historical basis for any of them, other than an alleged 1403 ordinance of the city of Chester, which supposedly installed a curfew on Welshmen due to a recent rebellion.
Oh, I see.
So I don't know why that law pops up, but it would be hilarious if it was legal to just shoot Welsh people with a longbow.
That'd be brilliant.
That would be brilliant, he said. Finally.
Yeah, but I mean,
The culling begins.
But it's like, surely if it was legal only in Chester, then no Welsh person would be in Chester. Or maybe that's what it's for. It's to deter Welsh people from Chester. 'Cause
I
the
don't think people would be
Chestertarians
like,
don't want people there.
oh yeah, just because it's legal, therefore people will just dispense with all morals and go, shall we do a Welsh shooting tonight?
Yeah, well, you wouldn't risk it as a Welshman.
Yeah.
Would you not?
It's too
Go,
dangerous.
yeah, well, that probably won't happen, but yeah, let's not risk it.
You have to be quite cynical to think, I, as a Welsh person, can only go places just because it's illegal to kill me.
I've been to Wales once.
You've been
Not
to
Wales.
Wales.
Crap.
That's just, you're talking shit. The other factoids, the true ones. The largest living thing in the world is a mushroom. This is true. It's a specimen of the honey mushroom in Oregon is considered to be the largest and oldest organism on Earth. It covers 8.9 square kilometers of the Malheur National Forest and is estimated to be around 8,650 years old. Like Luke was talking about earlier, mushrooms aren't just the stem and cap we see on the surface. This is only a small part of an underground network of mycelium tendrils. The massive honey mushrooms have thick black tendrils called rhizomorphs, the networks of which can extend miles through the soil seeking wood to eat. If this colony in this Oregon forest is considered a single organism, then it is the largest known organism in the world by area and rivals the aspen grove pando as the known organism with the highest living biomass. And our final factoid of the week, carousels were once used to train knights. Now the modern carousel obviously was not, because the modern carousel is a recent invention, but it
Wow.
emerged
Was I right in saying it
from
was the spinning horse thing?
Yeah,
Yes.
you're right. Merry-go-round. But the modern carousel emerged from early jousting traditions in Europe and the Middle East. Knights would gallop in a circle while tossing balls from one to another, an activity that required great skill and horsemanship. So they would do that in jousting, and this game was introduced to Europe at the time of the Crusades from earlier Byzantine and Arab traditions. The word carousel originates from the Italian and Spanish carosella, which is Italian and Spanish for little battle. And it was used by Crusaders to describe a combat preparation exercise and a game played by Turkish and Arabian horsemen in the 12th century. This early device was essentially a cavalry training mechanism. It prepared and strengthened the riders for actual combat as they wielded their swords at the mock enemies. So yeah, the carousel, not the merry-go-round, although that is a delightful image of a fully, clad in armour going around on a merry-go-round, hitting small children with a sword. But you were right that the carousel is a different thing, a different invention. There is actually a law on the subject of armour and weird laws in weird places. This is kind of following on from last week because we talked about the weird Floridian laws about you get fined if you roll a barrel down the street depending on the contents of the barrel, and you're not allowed to tie an elephant to a parking meter. Well, you are allowed to, but if you do, you have to pay for it.
What about a medium-sized grapefruit?
Yeah, exactly. We talked about the medium-sized grapefruit to the point where we wanted to stab our eyes out. But there is a law. You're not allowed to wear a suit of armour within the Houses of Parliament. Do you know that?
I've never been, so...
You're not allowed to... Oh, yeah, no, you're right, George, because that's what they just tell you on the gate. Have you got your plate armour on you? Just to make sure you're not allowed to wear that.
You got base.
I've never been, so I wouldn't know that. Yeah. The minute you get to the Houses of Parliament, every day there's a man on the door reminding you not to wear armour.
What happens with the Queen?
I don't like the attitude.
Yeah.
Brandon, I'm going to stop you there. What happens if the Queen? There's no discussion to be had about what happens if the Queen. If
she's above the law.
When have you seen the Queen wearing a full suit of plate armour, Brandon?
Last Sunday.
When have you seen it? Also, she's not above the law.
She kind of is.
She can't just do what she wants. She can't just go out in the street and kill a pauper.
She can.
People that hold the Queen's symbol are above the law. So postmen apparently can actually drive through red lights if they deem it necessary because they hold the Queen's face.
Yeah, but that's not necessarily being above the law. That is having an exception to the law. They're not allowed to go and shoot a farmer because that's illegal.
If it's required for the Queen,
stopping them from delivering their mail, then yes.
They need to get the post to this person. Sorry, they're in court, right? And they go, "Why did you kill this man?" They say, "Well, I had to get this letter to this house at the right time, and he was in my way. He was crossing the road, and I couldn't stop. I had to get it there on time, so I just ploughed him down."
Guilty.
Just minced him under the wheels of my postal van. And the court's like, yeah, sounds good to me.
Yeah, they actually prosecute the man struck. So when he gets out of hospital, he has to serve time.
They throw his mangled body in jail.
Yeah.
Good.
Good.
What he deserved.
Yeah, exactly. That does it for this week's episode of Cloud 5. We hope you've enjoyed our total chaotic bilge that we've spewed this week, and perhaps even learned something fun, which I doubt, because sitting here on the other end of it, I doubt there's very much that's salvageable from the wreckage of today's podcast. Yeah. But if you have any questions, facts, corrections, or silliness to send our way, you can contact us at cloud5cast@gmail.com, leave a comment on the Cloud 5 Podcast YouTube channel, or you can tweet us at Cloud5Cast. Using the hashtag Cloud5.
Yes.
Yeah. So we talked about things today.
There's a lot of stuff that I've said that I probably shouldn't have said.
Yeah. Same, really. I don't know how much of it will make it in.
Yeah. The whole. Yeah.
No, you don't need to elaborate. It's fine.
Yeah.
I feel like a soldier after World War One.
You come out.
You got shell shock.
You got the 5 mile stare. Like someone's going to say the word nematode to Luke, and he's immediately going to throw himself off the nearest precipice.
He's immediately going to pop a stiffy and start ejaculating.
Why? Why would you say that?
Why does it always go to that?
Why would you say that?
I haven't seen other humans in such a long time.
It doesn't have to be constantly related to that. I might leave
not-
that in. Now that we do know the extent of like your parents watching this podcast, I might and you go in to listen to their and view their reactions. I think I might leave that in.
Do please.
Oh god, there are some things that I may ask you to take up because I've realised that they would actually kill me.
I'm gonna leave that in. I'm gonna pop a stiffy and I'm gonna put it as a cold open at the start of the episode before the intro.
Yeah, do it, please.
I'm gonna pop a stiffy and ejaculate, and then it just welcome to Cloud 5.
Welcome to this episode's Cloud 5. It's like, oh, good.
Oh, I have to say, guys, that has been the most chaotic episode so far. It feels like it, anyway.
When do we stop recording?
We can stop recording in a minute. Just wait a second.
Oh,
Jesus Christ! Fucking hell!
sorry.
Time
so,
to stop screaming.
so desperate to leave. Let me rest. Well, that does it for today's episode, and we are delighted that you've tuned in. And if on the slight chance that we get to see you next week after this shitfest today, we'd be delighted. Love you all. Thank you.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye bye.
Get out. That enough.